Welcome to the Trading Lounge and the Day Ahead Report, and I just want to have a look at some daily charts first, just to sort of have a look at the bigger picture. There's been some strong moves overnight. Obviously they're tied into the elections, and on the Dow Jones here for the 13,000 here, we know that this is obviously the support here, and we couldn't really be sort of bearish until we had this as resistance, at least in this degree of structure. But what I wanted to point out is that overnight the market has moved up. I haven't got the daily bar in here, but it's up around the 13,280 there somewhere. You can see that the 13,300 here, which is the top of minor group 1, is can play out as the resistance through here. And we know that from using the levels, if the 13,300 here developed as a support through here, then we would have a more of a bullish picture in play there. So there's it's kind of like snakes and ladders and steps and so forth, and you need to line all the markets up. So there is support at the 13,000. So the next step would be to have support at the 13,300 there. So it's just something to watch. It's not like a big deal or anything, but it's something to look for. This price here can move up above the 13,300, and we expect that because we're actually tracking a 5 little wave structure to the upside there through here, just like that, and we'll be looking at that shortly there. But after that 5 waves becomes a correction as such. So it's after that correction, will it find the support on the 13,300 or not? That's the question. So it's going to take another session for this little 5 wave structure here to fall to complete, because that little structure up there can be part of an ABC structure going up there as well. So this low here having an ABC structure like that as such there, and there would be 5 waves in that leg moving up through there. So once that's complete, that could be completed there, and then we'll see a move down. But what I'm interested in seeing is that just sort of staying with what we know and the reality of things is that after this 5 waves is complete, there will be some type of reaction after that impulse wave. So if it is a 3 wave correction, an ABC, and then we get support on top of the 13.3 there, then we know that we're sort of heading to the upside much further. So that's what we're sort of looking at. So we know where we are here, then we've got to see where we are here, and then if that's the case, then we know where we are here, and we'll know what to do here. So yeah, that's what we're looking at, and it kind of does look a bit sort of bullish in a way, because, or at least positive, because this is the Dow Transports here, and we've looked at this before. I know it's a bit messy there, but what I wanted to point out here is that the Dow Transports have fair weight on the markets, and as you can see here, and we pointed this out a little while ago, that the markets had come up through here and has retested and found support on the 5,000. So it once again, it does put it into positive step 1, so to speak. It's not resistance, it's support. So that's something there. And also too with the European markets as well, and I'll get on to the Australian ones in a minute, but the European markets, as we mentioned yesterday as well, we're looking at the the FTSE 100. Just trying to find it now. We're talking about the FTSE 100 and its pattern as well through here, which I thought was quite interesting, because there was sort of a bearish bias on it, but I wasn't quite sold on that bias there, because this particular pattern sitting here, as I mentioned, the price now from last night is up at 559 here. So we were looking at this being from this high here, either down for wave 1, an A and a B and a C for wave 2, and then the beginning of the 3rd wave down, which still could be the case until that top's taken out, basically. So down for 1 here, back for 2 here, and then down for 3. So if we were looking at that here, because this has got a relationship with the Australian market as well. So it would be something like this here, down for 1 and back for 2, which would be part of a larger picture of down for 1 and back for 2 here. So that would be sort of in there as such, and that would be further down there. But so that would be the bearish side of that. So that's possible, but it's also possible for this to be a corrective pattern here in a simple ABC pattern like this here, and this is also possible as well. So we're looking for this structure here in terms of an A wave to here, a B wave in 3 waves to here, and 5 waves in the C wave from here, which is right as well. And then we'd be looking at trying to count this in some sort of positive structure here. And that's basically what's sort of panning out now in a way. So we need to drill down in here. We're a bit getting closer, but yeah, because it will work itself out through here shortly. So, but there is those 2 counts there. I know that can be a little bit annoying, but it's just the way the cookie crumbles, and we just really need to be on the right side. Now, when comes to the Australian market here, with the Aussie market, okay, we're at 4,500, and what I wanted to point out here is that that we're in basically a classic pattern here as such. So the market has the arrival, the reaction, finding support, then the first high above the level, and then the correction will unfold. Now, corrections can be tricky. We know 5 is the second strongest number. So the correction through here could be quite complex. It could be sort of an ABC correction like this as such. So we need to be aware of that there. And then once that ABC is finished, then a push up to there. We know that the Australian market is quite strong because it really hasn't been coming down that hard, but it obviously has been coming down, but not as hard as the other markets. So that would be one pattern that we could look at as a possibility. The other pattern is that that this this is, because it's a bit tricky to count this here, I have to say. It's open to interpretations. So it could also be the ABC correction within here, or it also could be an A and a B and a C already in there, and then we would straight away get this picture through here. And that's possible because this structure coming down here is very much like this structure coming down through here. In fact, most of these corrections that have come down through here have just really been in sort of quite single sort of patterns as such. So that's something to consider. So that support, finding support on the 4,500 would be critical. The move up over the last couple of days here, these 2 bars here for the last couple of days, have been on lower volume. So as that's been moving up, it's been on lower volume here. So that's a sign of weakness. So it could certainly sort of fail. The market could come up to the 4,500 here and retest either that high or the 4,500 and fail and move down. So I better sort of move that. We don't want such. So it could sort of retest this little area in here up to say that high there, and then work its way down from there. I mean, that's a real possibility as well. So what we would need to see today, we'd need to see more volume coming today, which is probably what we'll see anyway. So we'll see that push up through there. So any long trades on the CFDs here would have to be anywhere above the 44.72 would be the first call, of course, and stops would be under subgroup 2, so the 63, the 44.63, but you're looking for support on the 45 from that point there. So, but I just thought I'd sort of point, just to explore some possibilities with all of this as well. The other thing, as we've been talking about as well, is that this particular correction down through here, it's quite normal for the distance it goes above is the distance it goes below, with a pinch of salt, so to speak, but it's only been 10 points off, so it's not too bad at all. So that support on there would be the next step, and also starting to read the volume as well. So yeah, look, that's about it really. So on the Dow Jones here, the move up through here, we were looking for this to well, what I was looking for here actually is looking for five waves to come down through here. Now it's a little bit tricky. I've got to point out that the S&P 500 and the Dow Jones have got two different sorts of patterns occurring. So on the cash market, for instance, the Dow Jones has taken the low. This low here has actually taken the low of this out. Okay, on the cash market, but obviously it's not done it on the futures market here. With the S&P 500 on the cash for the S&P 500, it hasn't taken the previous low out through here. It's running higher through here. So what we were looking for yesterday is we were looking for that's the US dollar. I can come back to that in a minute. So what we're looking for yesterday. Just going to go in here again here through what we're looking for yesterday on the Dow Jones and the S&P 500 is another low in below here. So we were actually looking for 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 to come down through here as such, or some type of wave 4 correction across here and the wave 5 to come down here. But we haven't got that. We've only got 3 waves down here, the 1, the 2, the 3. On the Dow Jones cash market, you could count this as 5 waves down, and it also made that new low. That's its new low as such. So with the Dow Jones as such, if we look at I'll just go back to the Dow. This is just, we may as well talk about some subtle points here because there's not much we can do in terms of looking at other markets as such. So this low here on the Dow Jones was lower than these ones here. So it does appear that we can have a 5-wave structure down through to here. So what that means is that if that is correct and there is 5 waves down here, and I think that is the case, then the first 5 waves that we're seeing now back up into this area through here would be followed by another 5 waves. So we would see an ABC correction like that. May not be that far back, maybe just the 200, whatever, but then we'd see another 5 waves up. So that's a real possibility as well. Because we've got that 5 waves down here and we're getting 5 waves back up through here. So it does give me that sort of stronger bullish pattern coming in. At the moment, when we're looking at the wave structures now, we're sort of we're working this wave structure up through here, and we're sort of in around here. So another session tomorrow should take us higher through here as well. Yeah, so in following that 5 waves up from the low here, in terms of the S&P 500 and the Dow Jones and so forth, we can just start counting this up in 5 waves here. So it's still picking up speed through here. So for the S&P 500, I want to point out that this is 1430 here, so 10, 20 and 30, so that makes that the top of group 1. So it makes it significant as well in terms that it would separate the thinking from the 1400, the closest largest number, and send the price to the upside. Our target up here would be the 144. The 1436 is an old low high over here as well. So that's obviously going to have some impact there as well. But as you know, coming into 30, then 1430, there's going to be some type of correction here. So just another session of corrective patterns through here, and then a move higher through here. So we should see that follow through there, and yeah. So that's that really. We're just counting that higher, and that's a little bit, the European market's a little bit different. As mentioned, this is the DAX here. The DAX and the FTSE are kind of the same as well as would be the Australian markets as well. Slightly different, have been pushing up a bit earlier. But once again, the DAX here, you would need to be counting 5 waves from the 7300 here, and that's still the 3rd wave here. So still a 4th and still a 5th wave to move higher through here, and that would be the same as the UK markets as well. So this structure with the UK markets coming up here. Remember, we remember yesterday we were looking at this, and we were looking at it in a possible ABC correction and coming down and then moving down here further. But also pointed out too that all of these little structures here are in 5 waves to the upside. So that's an impulse wave. That's 5 waves here as well. So that's an impulse wave. That's got 5 waves in it. That's an impulse wave. And also we're getting an impulse wave here as well. So even though that we originally counted as a corrective move up, we pointed out that it also counts as a positive wave up as well. That's still the case as well. So once again, we'd be looking for 5 waves up through here. So expect a correction at 5,900. It would be held within subgroup 1 here as well, so we could see a little move up here further and then a larger ABC correction across here in line with the S&P 500 and so forth. But after that, after you've got like a little consolidation here, a push higher into this area here, then a move back in 3 waves or some type of correction, then finding support here, then that would offer you the next move to the upside. So keep an eye out for that. This is the ASX 200 here. We've just been talking about that on a daily chart, so we don't quite need to see that. But this is the 1 hour chart through here. Because the 72 has got support here now, then obviously that pushes it to the upside, but we know that the 4,500 here. So the futures market not going to move much here. It will push higher in terms of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it'll come up here further, but then have a correction across here as well. The cash market today will probably hit the 4,500 and struggle with that somewhat. So we can't expect too much here. But what we would be looking for in the days ahead is a support across the 4,500 there. Let's have a look at the commodities. Okay, with gold here, you can see it's just been so strong overnight, and what we were looking for yesterday, we know that we're in wave 4 here at the 1727 area here, and we're looking for wave 5 to come down. We were looking for, we know that this was the 3rd wave coming down through here yesterday, nice and strong, and we were looking for a 4th wave across here and a 5th wave to the downside. It just didn't unfold as such. So this was a bit of a problem with a lot of the futures markets in terms of indices as well. So there's kind of like a little wave missing, I guess. So that's I'm just a little bit sort of unsure about that. But we have to. But either way, we would have to call this in. From this wave 4 here, would have to call this in for wave 5 here. So that little wave there would have to be the 5th wave because it's made a new low through here. But I just thought it was an A and a B and a C wave up to here, and then the 5th wave down. So sorry about that. But look, what we're looking at now is an impulse wave to the upside, and once again, you can see the strong wave here would be the 3rd wave in there. So we have to count this as wave 1 and wave 2 in here, and a series of 1s and 2s in here till we get to the 3rd wave. So this would be a 4th wave developing through here. So we should see further upside through here. Of course, this old high here where the supply is, where the most volume was turned over, is obviously going to create resistance there, and this would be in line with the indices. So the gold in US dollars, the S&P 500, the euro, and the Australian dollar would also all be working together. They all have the same wave count, so you can move between all of them and get sort of much the same picture from them. Just wanted to have a look at the US dollar first, because just a quick look while we look at the commodities. So for the US dollar, yesterday we've been counting this up through here, and we were looking for 5 waves up. So we were looking at this being a wave 3 up there, and then the wave 4 we were looking to pull pull back into the subgroup 2 area here, 65, 72 and 80. But this little guy here would be the fourth wave of 1 lesser degree. So that means that between wave 2 and wave 3 here, there'll be 5 waves in there. It'll be something like the 1 and the 2, and then all the way third wave into there, the fourth wave here and the fifth wave here to make the... So this can pull back to this here, which is around the 80, 57, 56 sort of area through here. So that's fine, and in case, and could even pull back to the 80-50 here. But if the 80-50 became the resistance here, which is possible, then we'd have a top in play either from this one or this one here. But in the meantime, we need to just consider this as a wave 4 pullback, and we'll just see how that develops. And if that's the case, then we'll be looking for one more wave to the upside. The reason I was taking a bit of caution here for is because gold never did its little wave to the downside. So that little that little move there could be the fifth wave there. So we just got to be a bit careful about that. But look, if this market finds support back on the 82.72, then we can consider that fifth wave beginning at that stage. But in the meantime, it can drop down to this point here, and also the closest largest number, which would be the 50. But if that became the resistance, then we need to consider a top being in there. And that's important because of trading currencies as well. So especially the euro, so take that on board. But while this is pulling back through here, we're going to see commodities obviously pushed to the upside, and we're seeing gold, on an extreme measure to the upside. I'm not sure if that's more so to do with the strikes in Greece, or there's some sort of bias in the US elections coming out. I haven't watched telly yet, but yeah. For copper base metals, an interesting thing here would be BHP pushing to the upside here, breaking the 72 here. So that's a positive. Also with copper as well, we knew that we'd see a retest of the 350 here. This is just a normal process for everything. We can have this completed to the downside here now as well, in terms of this particular wave count we've got coming down through here. So that's possible. But either way, we'd want to see, if to call that low in there, we'd want to see really good support on the 350 as such. So anyway, it's going according to plan there anyway. So we won't call a low in just here until we see what development we've got in terms of internal patterns to the upside through there. The oil market is positive as well, as you can see here, very strong. So as you know, yesterday we were looking for, we've gone from wave 4 down to wave 5 here, so we've got these little 5 waves in here. So this would make wave 5 here, the V shape here, V in that sequence, and this is pushing to the upside. So this here pushing to the upside is definitely the third wave is the longest and strongest. So this is definitely the third wave within here. So we'd see a wave 4 and a wave 5 developing on this side here. So that's one of the good things with the levels, because while the price is above the 85 here, the levels, and this can come back here to the 88. That's the next level there. So you wouldn't go short while the price was above the 85. It forces you to go long above that, or not long at all if we felt that the market was going to have more downside, but would still have to wait for the setup on the right side of the closest largest number. So but that's this, like oil, like indices, that's a third wave up and still pushing to the upside, and will follow stock as well. So, but it is interesting that these have pushed up quite strongly, where the US dollar hasn't moved back much at all. So that fourth wave there, we really need to see that on the US dollar index play out. And obviously silver's the same as well, being above the 31 here, wave 4 here, and we're looking for wave 5 to come down. I just thought there may have been another fifth wave coming down through here, but obviously we've got to tie that in as being the third wave, the fourth wave, and the fifth wave here. It's just, yeah, just wasn't quite, didn't have the right look and feel about it, but what can you do? Alrighty, let's have a look at the euro and the Australian. Okay, just looking back at the US dollar again here, the five-wave structure that we're chasing to the upside is the one either to here or to here, and then the whole third wave up through to here, and we're looking for the fourth wave to pull back to the fourth wave 1 lesser degree, which is here, and then looking for a fifth wave to the upside there. As I mentioned in gold, that the fifth wave never came about, so we really need to consider that a top could be in play here already, and we would have to bring that into here and that into here as well. I'm sure there's some Elliott people will be looking at that being the fourth wave here, and the third wave here, and the fifth wave there as well. That's a possibility as well. But look, either way, let's just see how how this develops through here first, and just give it a little bit of time to develop, and then we'll move from that point. And not because it doesn't really matter that much at the moment, because we know that the euro and the Australian dollar are moving to the upside in line with the indices. So if we're looking at the Australian dollar here, its five-wave structure to the upside is a little bit different, but it's than the other one, but it's very similar in terms that, well, the first thing you recognise here is the strong third wave here. Okay, so that must mean that we've got a series of ones and twos here. So we've got five-wave structure to here. So we've got the wave 1 and wave 2 to here. Then we've also got, if this is the third wave here, this must be a wave 1 in here and a wave 2 and a 3. So it's still got further to go to the upside. So I'd probably look at this as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, just for that third wave there. And then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to here, so this would be this one here. So it's still got this wave 1 here, still got to be the wave 5 over here. So there's still upside to go through here. So we can expect we can expect further upside into this area here to complete that five-wave structure there. The group 1's the important thing here in terms of the 144 is important here as a resistance here, so you could look to add on top of that that 1044 once it became support. But we've got this three-wave correction here, so if you've got three waves here, then you know that top's going to be taken out there. So that's the important point there, and also being on group 1 as well. So of course the stop would have to be under here, but it is sitting on group 1, top of group 1 there, the 10, 20 and 30, so that's all good. The euro, okay, where are we? Slightly. One of the main things with the euro here that we're looking at is that we're looking at this as a corrective pattern, and with as a wave 4 and a move to the upside here to complete wave 5. However, also mindful that it can be a down for 1 and A, B and C for 2 here, and then working down through here. And if that was the case, what we're going to do is we're going to use the 127.72 there and the 128 as a retested resistance. So that would need to be become the resistance there for us to look at that downside in a more serious manner. So as it stands at the moment, we can look at this being still in a corrective pattern in terms of down for an A, B, C for the B wave, and C wave to the downside through here in terms of down for 1, back for 2, down for 3, back for 4. I know it's a little bit high, but down for 5 through to here. So looking at this 5-wave structure coming in through here a little bit more closely, it would count like this here in terms of the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4 and the 5 here. So we could have a low in place here, and that would be in line with the indices as well, as we're talking about the FTSE and the DAX and the Australian market and so forth. So it is possible. We'll see how this develops and what kind of leg legs that this has in there, starting at this stage here. Because the last time we spoke, we were looking at this being a wave 4 here, and we were looking at little wave 5 for the third wave down through to here, and we're looking for a fourth wave to pull back, like the US dollar index is doing to the fourth wave of 1 lesser degree, which is upside down here. So we're looking in here for this here, and then a move to the downside, having one more wave to the downside. But as just mentioned on the US dollar, because of the commodities being really strong, we can have it sort of something like this, a fourth wave to here and a fifth wave down to here, or the fifth wave to here. No, that's right there. So yeah, so I just don't know. I mean, this is not showing me a really good impulse wave to the upside here. It's showing me more, corrective pattern to the upside because of the overlapping wave structures. But one step at a time. We do have support on the 128. The next step would be to find support on top of Group 1, which would be the 128.30 there. So that would be something to look forward there. But just bear in mind that, if this fourth wave here, coming back to the fourth wave of 1 lesser degree there, into this area through here, failing through there. So yeah, it's just a bit of caution through here as well. So you'd really want a really good grounding of support on the 28.30 there. So don't jump in on the first support, so to speak, because it will hit the 40 and come back and test it as well. So it needs to develop quite strongly from there. And also bear in mind, line it up with the S&P 500 and Dow Jones, etc., finishing their little 5 waves to the upside as well, and the same with oil and gold as well. So they've all got to finish their moves up, and let's see how they correct. If they do correct in a corrective pattern, then we know we've got further upside to go, and we'll be in a bull market from that point. So just a little bit more patience, and we'll be on that side of the market. So we really need to try and get our trades into neutral territory. So a few more longs today and take out the shorts, and yeah, we'll merge over that side. I'm also back in the office now as well, finally. So sorry I haven't answered everybody's emails since I've been away. I've just been quite busy, so I'll get onto those, and I do apologise for that. Alrighty, well, good morning and good luck.